Good afternoon, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, my contemplative time has been all about intelligence and wisdom. And so, of course, it was fun to find a couple of quotes that I thought would really hit the point in terms of what I'd like to share with you today. So, the first quotation is by Thomas W. Moore, and it says, "Wisdom and deep intelligence require an honest appreciation of mystery." Wisdom and deep intelligence require an honest appreciation of mystery. And this is so interesting, right? Because I can say if I had read a quote like this some years ago, I would have thought, mystery? That sounds kind of unusual. And of course, for myself, it makes total sense because intelligence is something that many people have, right? I think we all have some intelligence. And of course, it depends on our level of learning, right? So if you've done some learning, you're probably intelligent in that area. And of course, a lot of people feel that wisdom comes from life experiences, right? And I would say that there is an experiential component to wisdom, but a lot of people think that because I've been through that, I'm so much wiser. And that's how a lot of people think about wisdom. But deep intelligence and wisdom has a completely different flavor to it. This idea of truly understanding something at a depth that does involve a little bit of mystery. So I thought maybe I would remind you to think about a time in your life where something really came together, and not even things that you were trying to put together. You might have hoped for it, you might have wished for it or prayed for it, but somehow things mysteriously connected. I know that that happens to a lot of people, and certainly myself, in terms of running into someone or meeting someone for the first time. And there's such a deep connection with a person. And there's a bit of mystery in that, right? So how did you meet that person? How do I meet the people that have that deep connection with me? And there is a bit of mystery to it. And it's such a pleasure to enjoy those experiences. So that's one of the things that I was thinking about. And the other thing I was thinking about is this idea of the energy work that I do. And you know that majority of people work from, you know that I do a bit of energy work that's related to chakras too. But if you know about the chakras, and I'll just remind you quickly that there are lower chakras and there are higher chakras. So the lower chakras would be the root, which is really at the tailbone. It's more about our groundedness and our connectedness with the earth. But if you think about the region, it's also the end of the digestive tract, right? So there's that. Then we've got the sacral chakra, and that's about nurturing, but it's also the area of fertility. And then above that is the solar plexus, which is all about action. And majority of our world has been very focused on desires in these three chakras. So they're the most basic instincts, right? So of course, eating, that then goes through our digestion and out the digestive tract. Then we've got fertility. So whether it's about getting pregnant or raising children, or perhaps just about intimacy, all of those things come from sacral chakra. And then there is the solar plexus, which is all about action. We certainly know how active the world is and how many people are very busy. And if it's not in physical actions, then it's in mental actions, and could be worries and thoughts and grief and sadness and sometimes joy and sometimes activity of mental restlessness, right? So all sorts of action that we're very accustomed to, but a lot of times people have a desire for that too, right? So people have a desire for eating different foods. People have a desire for having relationships, sometimes just having intimacy. And sometimes people will recognize that it's about wanting more of all of these things that the human mind is very fixated on. So if you really like food, you're going to want more food. You want your favorite food, but you want more of your favorite food. And now that you've tried that food, then you want to have different food. So if you are food oriented, there will be that direction. That's a very basic need or desire of the human experience. Then we've got the sacral chakra, and people feel like if I'm, married, then I'll have a child, or I just want a child. Even if I have to go to a fertility clinic, it doesn't matter. I really, really want a child. This is such a basic need too, right? It's also intimacy. So some people say, oh, I'd like to have intimacy with everyone that I could. That would be my dream, right? And so that's there. And then we've got the solar plexus, which is all about, it's our action. I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to achieve this. And a lot of people do base their lives on achievements too, right? And I think we've all gone through those things. And then there's a higher level than that, which is the heart chakra, which is all about love and compassion. And boy, is it a beautiful feeling. But of course, a lot of times it's what can I get? So will someone love me? Will someone be compassionate to my struggle? With that sort of idea. And then it's a giving and receiving. That's the pleasure of this space. But most people start looking at what can I get? What's the food I can get? What's the intimacy I can get? What are the partners I can get? What is the actions I can get? What's the job I can get? What's the love I can get, right? So what can I get? We come up to the throat chakra, and the throat is about expression, of course. And this is often related to expression of kindness, but sometimes people just really want to be able to speak their minds. They haven't been able to speak as children, perhaps, and really want to express. And so sometimes they will find ways to express themselves, to be heard. And sometimes someone is not able to express. So that's the region of the throat. And then we've got the third eye, and the third eye is about what we think about. And people love to think about what they want next, right? So again, desire is related, and it's achievements and it's titles, and it's again the basic human experience. And when we think about all of these things, it's less easy for people to stay in these higher levels of consciousness in terms of what can I give? What can I give? So when we think about even the root chakra, we can think, can I feed someone? When we think about the sacral chakra, it's like, can I be nurturing to someone? Can I raise a child or a pet with that nurturing? Can I have compassion for someone with emotional intelligence? And emotional intelligence is from that region too. Then we go up to the solar plexus, say, what can I do? Well, what can I do for you, right? Is a different space than what can I do to get something for me, right? It's a very different spot. Then we've got the heart chakra, and it's like, who's going to give me love? Well, who can I love, right? Then we've got the throat, which is like, what can I say that's kind, right? Rather than, why won't someone say something kind to me? Or when can I speak my mind because I'm really upset and I need to get this off my chest, right? And then we've got the throat, or the third eye, and we can think about third eye is like, what are people thinking about me? It's often what a lot of people are thinking about, especially if they're in a new group or even with people that they love and care about. But it's like, what are they thinking about me? Or, what should I make sure they know? I got to get something off my mind. And rather than, what is it that I can share to lift another person? And this is a different energy. And I certainly notice that for myself, through my evolution, I'm going to say my spiritual evolution, there's definitely been growth in this way where I can see previous times that might have been more of those, I need to protect myself, right? So I need to make sure that someone's there for me, or something's there for me, or I can get something, or I can afford something, or I can do something, or I can prove myself, or all of those things have been there. And then now, oh, it's such a beautiful feeling to just be. It's just being. And this is something that I certainly recommend that everyone experience. But I do believe that we need to understand ourselves before we can really get to those higher levels of functioning. And it always affects us first before it affects the world around us. But if we are thinking about this sort of intention of how can I give, how can I lift, how can I, whichever way, there is this element of mystery that comes through as a wisdom that helps us along the way too. And this, I guess you'll have to trust me, though some of you listening to this might have already experienced it, that when we come from that space, there is other assistance. But we also can really benefit from learning about it and actually teaching ourselves how to remember who our true and genuine authentic self is, which allows us to act from the best space with whoever we communicate with or speak with or act with or think about, right? And then finally, I wanted to make sure that I ended with this quotation by Robert Greene Ingersoll, and it says, intelligence guided by kindness is the highest wisdom. Intelligence guided by kindness is the highest wisdom. So we think about, even if we feel like eating things, and if we know that it's not good for our body, we might remember that, yeah, you know what? I won't eat that today because I know it doesn't make my body feel so good, right? So I'm being kind to my body. If I'm thinking about nurturing energy from the sacral chakra, I can think about, oh, you know what? I know that giving to a child, sometimes giving to a parent, it's anyone in our care that we can nurture, even friendships, it takes a little bit of extra energy. But am I in that space? And if I'm not in that space, that's not the time to give from, because it won't be with kindness that I'm giving then, right? So same with yourself. In terms of action, why am I doing the action that I do? Is it to benefit me, or is it to benefit more than me? Why do I think about love? Is it because I need to feel it, or is it because I need to share it, or I choose to share it, right? Speaking in terms of the throat, also kindness, right? So remember, kindness does come from words, and it can come from words. And it's that awareness that I can speak something kind. I don't speak about other things in terms of, even if someone has done something not kind to me, I don't have to speak about it because it's not releasing an energy that is kind to the world, the energy around me, right? So even to express it, it's, am I being kind in expressing it? Well, I just have to interpret that, right? I have to think about, it's kind to myself because I need to share this with someone. That's fine. And that's definitely a kindness to the self. And then there's a kindness towards the energies around us. So even the people that are listening to us, if I can't say kind things in the time that I'm speaking to someone that I care about, then I need to rethink, what am I doing, right? Thoughts are the same thing. If it's not tinged with kindness, and this takes a mindful attention, right? So if I'm not thinking kindly because I'm kind of jealous of someone or something, or I am greedy, or I am angry, or I am lusty, anything, all of these sorts of lower energy vibrations come through the thoughts, and they're not tinged with kindness. They're very self-centered emotions or thoughts and feelings and actions, and often reflect in words and behaviors. So today I would love for you to just reflect on yourself for 5 minutes to see, are you using intelligence guided by kindness, which is the highest wisdom? I hope you are. I hope you'll reflect on that for 5 minutes ahead, and I wish you a fantastic day ahead. I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.